아, 후. 서서 어서 오세요. 잠깐만요. 이제 해결됐네. 역시 웬만한 애들은 껐다 키면 해결이 되나 봐요. 나한테도 들리고 여러분들한테 너무 크진 않죠 지금. 다행이다. 어디 봅시다. 일단은 게임을 빨리 키죠 이번에는. 그러면은 게임으로 넘어갑시다. 소리가 너무 큰가? 데려 받고 있는 게. 나와라. 뭐 타자 소리가 들리는 건 어쩔 수가 없긴 한데 요 이상으로 뭐 어떻게 조절하긴 어렵네요. 타자는. 들어가 봅시다. 지난번에 저희는 사일러스 그리브스의 하지만 비디오를 이게 별 차이가 없으면은 주사위를 좀 높여 놓을게요. 사일러스 그리브스의 어려움 난이도를 총알 절반을 흘려가면서 따라가고 있었죠. 재빠른 자가 살아남는 법. 사일러스는 현상금 사냥을 시작했습니다. 누구냐고요? 복수의 대상 로스코 밥 브라이언스를. 맞아요, 살아났어요. 난 살아있다고.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different.
잠깐만.
I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
아, 이거 어디 있는 거야? 어두워요. 화면도 잡고. 이제 올랐으니까 해봐야죠. 다이너마이트보다는 쭉. 이건 총알이 굉장히 급하네 지금. 화면이 작아가지고 지금 한 대 맞으면 화면이 겁나 흐려져요. 어디서 뭐지? 모르겠네. 총알이 부족해서 이렇게 할 수밖에 없네요.
I thought the Texas Rangers got heart. Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today.
야간 사격. 너무 어두워요. 야간에 작전 나가는 것도 서러운데 사격까지? 근데 어디로 가야 하는 거지? 집안에서 하딘을 찾으라고? 아니 그럼 문 좀 열어줘. 여기가 아닌가? 여기구나. Hey, hey, hey.
Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me. Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch.
제가 굉장히 알고 있네요. 잠깐만요. 아니야, 너 말고 나.
The killer.
Killer.
By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men, fathers and husbands, brothers and sons, men with families who cared about them. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them. They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. Most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. And that was easier said than done, as most of them were as foolish and full of bravado as I was. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that place. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence.
어디 있니 저? 너무 어두워요.
I'm gonna make you pay for that.
어우 아파.
I can kill you with either hand.
어디 있니? 없나? 없으면 가고.
Tell Hardin someone's coming for him.
거기 저기야? 여기인가?
Stop that son bitch!
아니 지금 소리가 반대로 들리니까
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
언덕 위에 있는 것 같은데 모르겠네. 총알 줘. 막 총알 줘. 산탄총은 별 의미가 없는 것 같아요. 지금 상황에서 적들이 멀리 있으니까.
I'm gonna shoot.
저거 아니었구나.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
총알 줘.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better.
어디로 가야 하는 거지? 마을로 간 길이 이쪽이 맞긴 한가 보네. 근처에 뭐가 숨겨진 건 없지?
Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story.
이런 이벤트 하면 보통 총알
I
안
didn't
쓰게 해줘야
learn
되는
until
거 아니야?
later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
진짜 쐈어요 방금 전에 진짜. 달려야 이래야 여기 있었어? 총알이나 먹어라. 저는 소리 때문에 헷갈린단 말이죠. 왠지 모르지 무법자인데 라이플을 다 쓰게 되는. 게다가 조준이 잘 안 돼. 강도가 너무 높다.
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
총알 좋아. 총알만 주면 되는데 슛시트는 별로 안 좋은 것 같아. 어디로 가야 하는 건데? 아니 갑자기 이번에 술집을 들어와서 무엇자가 없어야 돼?
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me.
너무 아픈데. 와, 너무 쏟아지는데? 어디에서 이렇게 쏟아지는 거야? 역시 총을 이걸 들고 와야겠어. 마이 갓. 여기도 있었네요. 이거 화면이 흐려지는 게 가장 거슬린단
Yeah,
말이야.
you know you can't beat me.
In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
오우, 한 번에 두 발이면 쏴야 돼. 그냥 양손에 총만큼 못하겠지. 역시 샷건은 좀 실력 덜 쳐서 총알이야 저요?
You can't hide from me.
폭탄보다 큰 사나이랍니다.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
그게 누구죠? 이게 바로 근데 여기
I felt a bolt of adrenaline.
유명한 걸까요?
Or maybe that was fear.
모르겠어요. 저는 서부극은
He was well known
잘
for his
몰라서.
tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
하는 속도가 너무 느린데 난 멀티태스킹이 안 된단 말이야.
No, wait! He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
잘못하니까 이렇게 건강하고 다시 살아나죠. 이런 거는 집중도보다 반응 속도가 더 느리고 중요한 거지. 피한 거 아니었어? 아니 피하는 것도 있었어 근데? 왜 처음엔 안 알려주고 원래 처음엔 죽는 이벤트였던 건가? 녀석이 꽤나 화가 나긴 해요. 이런 내가 지금 어려운 난이도라 그런 걸지도? 몸을 숙이는데도 또 시간이 필요하구나. 너무 어려워. 아니 왜 이렇게 집중도가 낮지? 70몇 %였는데 그랬는데도 이 정도야? 움직이면서 쏴서 그런가? 너무 늙었어. 이야기를 하는 사람이 늙으니까 정작 덩달아서 게임에 나오는 사람도 늙는. 이거는 슬로모션 시작하자마자 그냥 왼쪽 오른쪽 움직여야 되는데.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
아니, 빨리 뽑아서 죽여버려도 되긴 하는데 명예를 원하지 않는다면 그래도 되긴 하죠. 오른쪽으로.
No, wait! He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
이거는 오래 걸리겠네요. 게다가 또 움직이면은 집중도가 너무 떨어져. 그냥 깔끔하게 먼저 써버릴까. 하지만 그건 명예롭지가 않죠. 이런 게임을 해야 하는데 반드시 명예롭게 죽이고 말 거다. 좌우 너무 너무 느려. 이게 계속 요거에 집중하다 보면은 게이지 채우는데 집중하면 정작 상대방이 움직이기 시작할 때 나도 움직여야 한다는 걸 까먹어요. 저기 쏠 때 움직여야 한다. 내가 항상 오른손을 먼저 쏘잖아. 왼쪽으로 피하면 된다고.
That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
맞췄네.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben?
보단 레인저 쪽이 더 낫긴 해요. 솔직히 다음으로 가봅시다.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
참혹한 역사죠. 자세하게 알진 못하지만 브라이언트.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
언젠가는 오랜 시간 전 저 멀고먼 산정을
Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death.
제 기본 주사율이 144거든요.
Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move.
가봅시다.
He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
이거야. 올드나 아파치야. 아니, 야 버려. 아, 좋았다. 생각. 나관.
They saw me before I saw them. And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
어디 쓴 거야? 오 마이 갓.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there. I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
피해요. 아니 예고 없이 나타나요. 하긴 뭐 그게 적이긴 하지만 아니었구나. 시작하자마자 이러냐. 하고 어디 건데? 밑으로 내려가서 하늘에 흩어지는데.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
지금 풀 색깔이라서 한글도 안 보이는데 동굴로 들어가면 나아질까요? 그렇진 않아요.
A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
여기가 아닌가벼? 여긴가벼? 여기가 맞나? 아 너무 어두워 또. 더블 헤드. 오 위험.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
다크소울에서 나올 법한 기왕으로 돌아다닌다니 너무 무서워. 왜 이렇게 어두워. 뭔가 있네. 피해요? 무서워. 동굴인데도 라이플 쏴야 되냐? 얼굴만 내밀어도 한 대를 맞네. 정말 내나. 불길한 예감이 들어.
How big was this cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars.
피해요? 이게 한번 이상하다니까.
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
뭐였는데? 너무 순식간에 지나가서 뭐였는지 못했는데. 나도 모르는 사이에 막 물러가지고 막 쐈어요. 좌우로 움직이는 하고 싶었을 뿐인데 총게임에서 너무한 거 아니야? 총알은 주지 않아.
come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death. I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows. And I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
오, 진짜 인디언처럼.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
네, 뭐야
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
여기서 강추.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines.
갑자기 이런 건
They
간식이.
couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
자, 열받게 하지 마. 키읔? 보통 이렇게 해야 10발인데 라이프는 기본 10발들이라면 게다가 위력도 더 세고.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared, kind of like a miracle.
어디야? 뭐야? 어디로 가야 했는데? 갑자기 다리가 왜 생겨났는데?
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever.
어디로 가야 했는데?
Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering white water river.
우와! 갑자기 밑에서 바위가 솟아나더니 점프도 못하고 죽었어요. 다크소울에서 이런 데 보면 뒤에서 갑자기 뼈가 나오는
I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
거기 사람의
Mumbo
동시야.
Jumbo's right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens.
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
하나 살았다. 어쩌다. 하나 쓰러뜨렸다. 어디 거야? 여기 들어가나 이거 반렸어라. 거기 있었구나.
I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me.
총을 맞아요. 이게 레싱마냥 퀴퀴 하면서 막 이렇게 내릴 수도 없고.
And wouldn't you know it, That crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
키우?
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
어디냐? 깜짝이야. 이렇게 주먹방이지 이건. 나와라. 나라 이거 빨리. 이거 다녔어. 중요한 게 총알을 펴서. 그래서
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before.
진짜 나타나네.
I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
아빠 헬기 이름이 부족.
Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
총알만 잔뜩만. 이제 레벨이 더 오르면 어디다 쓰지?
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
여기 나오는 애들이 다 유명한 집단이고.
Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the right.
I did my best, sir. We all did. It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always writing him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, he'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
공원총 어딨어? 생존인정. 장성답이 싶어. 내가 좋네.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
설명해봐.
First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
안녕. 잘 가요.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. You just gotta bring something bitches out.
고마워요.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns.
어떻게 내려가는 거지? 그래서 어떻게
He
가라는
went in
거야?
there alone to confront those criminals.
그래서 스타트
One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting.
그래서 어디로 가야 하는데?
From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did.
오케이 이게 그렇게 되고 있어. 어디로 가야?
Brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
점프. 뭐가 거냐?
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
됐어.
Is that Silas Greaves?
Jim Booth,
Son of a
Davy
bitch!
Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
완전 빨라. 하나씩.
Over there!
아니야 그래서 어디로 가야 해?
That's Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
그래서 문이 어디야? 어디로 가야 돼? 제대로.
His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
어렵구만 어려워.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
아니었다고요 또? 근데 지금 세 번이나 된 거야.
It was early evening, not high noon. Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob two banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends who called them.
어떻게 간 거야? 그냥 먹어라. 어디로 가야 하오? 이리로 가. 네가
And those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught Silas Dalton running with the money and didn't want to lose him. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. They were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons.
아이 너무 어두워. 아니 해가 떠 있는데도 왜 이렇게 어둡지?
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those two families have been feuding forever.
Oh my god.
And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once.
Get those boys!
Put them down! They ain't getting away with this!
Come on, we gotta get out of here!
I think they know who we are! Sorry, son of a bitch!
어디 있는데?
That must have hurt!
There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
아니었나요?
Come out from behind!
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up.
Yep.
Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least two of them to escape.
아이, 지나간 거 아니었어? 진짜.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
이 자식아.
I ain't afraid of you, Silent Reeves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Oh no. 나 먼저 하니까
It's all killing time. Coward and a cheat. I'm gonna cut you in half. Gonna send you to the bone orchard. Is that all you got?
와. 하지만 짝꿍을 두 방 맞아요.
Tear
멀쩡하다.
you apart.
큐. 짝꿍 큐.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him?
그거다 사실이 아니었나 봐요.
But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
어쩌면 앵커 같은 녀석이었을 수도 있겠네요. 발음 잡으세요. 다음으로 가봅시다. 달튼 형제 중 한 명은 잡았고 여전히 현상금 사냥꾼이라네.
We'll get those suckers!
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
또 유연 말고 있냐? 왜?
the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course. So we kept an eye out for landmarks.
진짜 다리가 날아가는 소리가 들려. 제발 게임에서만큼 이런 걸 느끼고 싶지 않아. 파리가 벌레. 벌레가 싫어요. 못 잡는 건 아닌데 날아다니는 거.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood.
왜 갑자기 나무가 솟아나?
The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded.
못 본다고?
The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
내가 어디로 가야 하오?
Bury them in the swamp. Climb where they stand. Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
근데 이거 상황이 너무
I'm in.
그래서 보통 절대 착하면은 장전이.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
이거 콘솔 헤드로 움직이는 그런 느낌으로 피어가 버려가지고 겁나 불편해요. 움직임이 너무 느려.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
한 발이 두 놈 나왔어요. 뭘 맞추는지 모르겠지만 일단
Point being, I was under serious attack. And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Somebody kill that son of a bitch.
잠깐만요. 목소리가 너무 작은가요? 그냥 제가 뭔가 말하는 게 조그맣게 하는 걸 수도 있어요. 지금 좀 집중 중이라서 대사 쓰는 걸 신경 못 쓰겠네요. 잠깐만요. 어디 봅시다. 라고 했을 때 지금은 잘 들리나요? 그러면은 제가 혼자서 그냥 중얼거리는 습관이라서 그럴 수도 있거든요. 이게 아니면 지금은 어때요? 그러면 이 정도는 괜찮아요? 아니면 요 정도? 요 정도? 요 정도? 하고 게임도 약간 소리를 줄입시다. 그러면 환경 설정에서 오디오를 전체 음량을 하지 못하네. 하나 둘 하나 둘 하나 둘 두 칸씩만 합시다. 돌아갑시다. 나 근데 FPS 하면서 양쪽 귀를 안 넣고 있었네. 헤드셋 한쪽만 보고 있었어. 그래서 몬충인데 상하 손잡이 슈퍼 저기다. 저기 느낌이야 이건.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
갑자기 저렇게 튀어나와요?
But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them.
나쁜 자식들 뭔가
But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was.
이런 느낌 작전.
Steve,
또 오는 소리가 나죠 갑자기.
So I just started walking, and pretty soon, Steve.
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
갑자기? 이러지 마.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right.
내가
See,
잃어버린
Steve?
총알을 어디서
Dwight's
구하는
paying
거야?
attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
이런 가짜 녀석들을
So,
쓰러뜨려도 총알을
where was
주네.
I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
마치 좋은 3월이야.
Bounty hunters! Stop that son bitch! So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. Kansas breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
어디로 가야 하는 거야? 애들이 쓰러지는 것도 너무 느리게 쓰러져가지고 쐈는지 안 쐈는지 모르겠어요. 너무 아파. 그냥 레벨업부터 합시다. 예. 드디어 난 완벽한 건설링어가 되었다. 통화니 할 거예요. 뭐야 이거. 주먹을 안 쓰러지네. 그냥 용기 한번 만용을 한번 부려놨어. 여기서부터 시작이냐? 12가 쓰는 주먹 안 쓴 건데 이게 헤드샷이 안 되네. 나이스. 다 쓰면 되는 건가? 배치웠나? 아직 남아있을까? 총알 줘요. 아이 너무 아파. 안 보여. 하지만 총알은 보이지. 피했다. 정말 잘 쏘네. 총알 줘요. 어디니? 머리를 내놔라. 거꾸가. 어딘 거야? 안 보여. 아 여기 있구나 얘야. 몰랐네. 그래서 너 왼손잡이니 오른손잡이니 오른손잡이야. 어딨니? 나이스. 어우 페이크. 이게 정조준 하고 나서도 본조에 모이는데 시간이 있어. 그래서 해준 같은 호수가 안 돼. 너무 아파. 총알 줘요. 좋아. 지금 뭐가 있나? 다이너마이트구나. 어딨니? 내가 어딨어? 라고 하는데 걸리고 여기 살았어. 시간이 들어있는 거라 이건 어쩔 수가 없네요. 나 레벨업 할 수 있어? 아 이거구나 그냥. 이 느린 기동성. 오 마이 갓, 어디서 쏜 거야? 겁나 멀리서 쏘네. 한 번에 두번 쏜 건가? 지금 상공상공 리피터로 계속 싸우는 느낌이에요. 아니면 윙맨이야. 기분이 겁나 안 좋아. 난 퓨즈가 아니라고 이 자식아. 잠깐만요냐?
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
이게 누굴까? 나? 혹시 나? 왔다 시장이었던 것이에요. 가봅시다.
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Yes, it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was in that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from all sides. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
오 마이 갓. 피해요. 한쪽부터 걸어갑시다. 한쪽부터 차근차근히. 잠깐만, 어디서 던진 거야? 너무 아파요. 이러면 침 바르면 나. 어딨니? 어디 있는 거나? 아닌데? 쟨 죽은 건가? 아 진짜 개 힘들어. 어쨌든 통화했어요. 어딨냐? 남은 애는 그냥 가까이 가서 죽일 수 있지 않을까요?
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
뭔가 없을까? 나가봅시다.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben.
열어.
I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
너무 아파. 너무 아파요. 뭐야? 어디 있는 거야? 피해. 뭐야? 어떻게 죽는 건지 모르겠네. 내려가게 해줘. 이런 건 또 성실하게 사다리를 타고 올라가고 내려가고 하니까. 또 어디야? 어디야? 괜히 이런 길이 있으면 가고 싶어지잖아. 아니 여긴 또 어디야? 여기 또 왜 막혀있고 여기 왜 또 뚫려있어?
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit.
이보시오. 어디 있다는 거요? 뭐고?
It turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? A lot of just one more.
We're talking about the Titanic.
전차.
Ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway, be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
Oh, God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I
타이타닉이
took in a
내리는
lot of smoke
인수한다고?
that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all.
뒤에 게틀링이지. 자. 이야. 죽어라 이 자식아. 아 이거 있었냐? 야호. 야 열어 이 자식들아. 옛날 니들만 쏘던 거에서 당한 게 어떠냐? 니들만 쏘는 거에 당한 게 폭발이나 맞아라.
Sodom Grad weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together.
비겁한 녀석들.
Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
중도가 너무 떨어지는데 이거? 반응 속도는 너무 느려. 아니? 겁나 빨라. 지금 누구한테 집중해야 하는 거지? 오른쪽이 먼저 쏘긴 하는데.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day and the tragic death of his two brothers.
강도 짓을 하다 보니까 그렇게 된 거겠지. 살아. 에이 이제. 이그라이. 스킬을 받는가? 그렇다면 이글을 찍게. 후. 하.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
Wild bunch.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me. Until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Wild Bunch. 짐은 어떻게 된 걸까요, 그러면? 부치 캐시디와 썬댄스 키드가 이끌던 와일드먼치는 서부초의 무엇자 갱단이었습니다.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.
가봅시다.
Led by Butch Cassidy. They were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
그래서 어디로 가는 거지? 교가 위쪽으로.
Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above, so I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
봅시다. 어디로 가야 한다고? 여기가 아닐까요? 이쪽인가요? 마이 갓! 다음은 어디? 총알가 다이너마이트를 진짜 많이 주죠.
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that ridge.
What'd you say?
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them.
방금
From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
얘네들이 하던 말이 뭐였냐면 저 폭발 때문에 아직도 귀가 먹먹해라고 한쪽이 크게 얘기했는데 다른 한쪽이 뭐라고 안 들려 라고 한 거였어요. 그렇게 말하기 전에 죽여버렸어. 달려!
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados.
얘라!
Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall.
문
There were no passengers aboard that day.
이 녀석 겁나 못해. 문 열어! 어깨를 좀 꺾지 마! 총알 내놔라, 이 녀석. 총알 줘요.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway.
없구나.
So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
인자를 죽어가지고. 어디서 쏜 거야? 위에서 쐈구나.
Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
굉장히 멀었어. 어떻게 하는 거니?
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
라고 생각하지만
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the Wild Bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
혓바닥 하나로 사람이 몇 명씩
Who the hell is that?
Take
Cover! Retreat! Retreat!
얘들아.
He's killing everybody!
얘들아. 목숨 부숴.
He'll kill us all! Run!
공격.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
잘안 보이는 과연 한번 할 수 있을 것인가 나는 했나? 했었나? 여기구나. 어디가 돼?
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry. And maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
맞아요. 실력 가지고 싸울 땐 다들 전성기 가지고 싸우니까 어쩔 수가 없죠. 귀찮으면 그냥 총 쏘면 되니까. 이거보다 훨씬 까다로운 대결이 있었던 걸로 기억하는데. 지금 몇 시죠? 아이 그만 좀 움직여봐.
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamp for South America.
야호.
They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
명예로운 죽음이라. 오, 벌써 9시가 넘었네요. 슬슬 방송을 종료해야겠네요. 메뉴로 갑시다. 후. 오늘 또 음향 세팅 때문에 굉장히 이슈가 있었지만 게임 자체는 오늘은 꽤 잘 진행됐다고 생각해요. 나쁘지 않았어요. 특히 이렇게 게틀링으로 갈아버리는 거라든지 또 브리칭 해가지고 바로 팍팍팍팍 쏴대는 거라든지 꽤나 통쾌하게 게임했다고 생각해요. 그나저나 내가 내 스케줄도 까먹다니. 아무리 일이 바쁘다지만 좀 그렇네요. 아무래도 정신이 하나도 없어. 이제는 우리가 헤어져야 할 시간. 빠빠빠빠빠빠빠. 좋아요. 일단 오늘은 레이드를 보낼 만한 분이 있을까요? 오늘의 이거는 참을 수가 없는데. 오늘은 과장님께 한번 가볼까요? 그렇게까지 친하진 않은데 닌자 슬레이어 참을 수 없죠. 그러면 오늘 방송 끝까지 봐주셔서 고맙고 들어가면은 모두 예의 바른 인사, 예의 바른 채팅 해주시길 바랄게요. 그러면 오늘 방송 수고 많으셨고요. 봐주시느라 수고 많으셨고 그러면 수고요. 수고하수고.